Engineers create artificial skin that can send pressure sensation to brain cell. October 15, 2015. Source: Stanford University. Summary: engineers have created a plastic skin-like material that can detect pressure and deliver a Morse code-like signal directly to a living brain cell. The work takes a big step toward adding a sense of touch to prosthetic limbs. Human finger touches robotic finger. The transparent plastic and black device on the golden fingertip is the skin-like sensor developed by Stanford engineers. This sensor can detect pressure and transmit that touch sensation to a nerve cell. The goal is to create artificial skin, studded with many such miniaturized sensors, to give prosthetic appendages some of the sensory capabilities of human skin. Credit: Biolab. Stanford engineers have created a plastic skin that can detect how hard it is being pressed and generate an electric signal to deliver this sensory input directly to a living brain cell. Jinan Bao, a professor of chemical engineering at Stanford, has spent a decade trying to develop a material that mimics skin's ability to flex and heal, while also serving as the sensor net that sends touch, temperature, and pain signals to the brain. Ultimately, she wants to create a flexible electronic fabric embedded with sensors that could cover a prosthetic limb and replicate some of skin's sensory functions. Bao's work, reported today in Science, takes another step toward her goal by replicating one aspect of touch, the sensory mechanism that enables us to distinguish the pressure difference between a limp handshake and a firm grip. This is the first time a flexible, skin-like material has been able to detect pressure and also transmit a signal to a component of the nervous system, said Bao, who led the 17-person research team responsible for the achievement. Benjamin T., a recent doctoral graduate in electrical engineering, Alex Chortos, a doctoral candidate in materials science and engineering, and André Berndt, a postdoctoral scholar in bioengineering, were the lead authors on the science paper. Digitizing touch. The heart of the technique is a two-ply plastic construct. The top layer creates a sensing mechanism and the bottom layer acts as the circuit to transport electrical signals and translate them into biochemical stimuli compatible with nerve cells. The top layer in the new work featured a sensor that can detect pressure over the same range as human skin, from a light finger tap to a firm handshake. 5 years ago, Bao's team members first described how to use plastics and rubbers as pressure sensors by measuring the natural springiness of their molecular structures. They then increased this natural pressure sensitivity by indenting a waffle pattern into the thin plastic, which further compresses the plastic's molecular springs. To exploit this pressure sensing capability electronically, the team scattered billions of carbon nanotubes through the waffled plastic. Putting pressure on the plastic squeezes the nanotubes closer together and enables them to conduct electricity. This allowed the plastic sensor to mimic human skin, which transmits pressure information as short pulses of electricity, similar to Morse code, to the brain. Increasing pressure on the waffled nanotubes squeezes them even closer together, allowing more electricity to flow through the sensor, and those varied impulses are sent as short pulses to the sensing mechanism. Remove pressure, and the flow of pulses relaxes, indicating light touch. Remove all pressure and the pulses cease entirely. The team then hooked this pressure sensing mechanism to the second ply of their artificial skin, a flexible electronic circuit that could carry pulses of electricity to nerve cells. Importing the signal. Bao's team has been developing flexible electronics that can bend without breaking. For this project, team members worked with researchers from Park, a Xerox company, which has a technology that uses an inkjet printer to deposit flexible circuits onto plastic. Covering a large surface is important to making artificial skin practical, and the Park collaboration offered that prospect. Finally, the team had to prove that the electronic signal could be recognized by a biological neuron. It did this by adapting a technique developed by Carl Diasurath, a fellow professor of bioengineering at Stanford who pioneered a field that combines genetics and optics, called optogenetics. Researchers bioengineer cells to make them sensitive to specific frequencies of light, then use light pulses to switch cells, or the processes being carried on inside them, on and off. For this experiment, the team members engineered a line of neurons to simulate a portion of the human nervous system. They translated the electronic pressure signals from the artificial skin into light pulses, which activated the neurons, proving that the artificial skin